Please don't start learning guitar, especially jazz guitar. I get it. You have a guitar already, maybe more than one guitar. And since you've invested time and money into your gear, you're feeling guilty that you're not doing much with this stuff. There's life stuff getting in the way. Anyway, more reasons to not start playing music like you always wanted to. Because there are many, many, many reasons. Let's start by listing all those reasons. Don't you just love to complain about all those books and materials you've purchased already? You're too busy with school. It takes up a long part of your day. Then homework on top of that? Forget it. I work all day, and I'm drained when I come home. There's no energy left for learning something new. Besides, I type all day at work. What? Now I'm supposed to give myself tendonitis or carpal tunnel syndrome learning guitar on top of that? Or getting to that next level on that video game. It's so much easier than applying myself to learning a real world skill. And you still think about that mean kid, what he said to you when you messed up at a performance you did in school. You don't got this. You're too old. You're too young. Please don't make yourself feel vulnerable by learning new skills that you know you will ultimately suck at least at first. Please don't try to learn music. Trust me. Don't. I felt we needed to talk. There's so many reasons why you shouldn't start. I mean, there's so many people out there that are doing it better than you. Oh, and so many fears. The fear of putting yourself out there, the fear of being seen, the fear of not being noticed, the fear of failing. I get it. Trust me, I get it. You feel like you're in slow motion while the world feels like it's outdoing you. I'm sorry, did I strike a nerve? I didn't mean to. The reason why I know these things is because I have felt them too. Guess what? Everyone has. It's called being human. I've had wants and dreams too. Some have come true, some haven't. Some have come true, but not how I envisioned them originally. One of my goals, besides being a successful performer, was to teach at a university so I could change the lives of hundreds of people while affording to have a decent home, car, etc. So I could also afford to perform with whomever I wanted, including my own music, without having to take jobs I didn't really want to, or even a job outside of the music industry. That has yet to have happened. at least the university job. Well, now I have the opportunity to change the lives of potentially hundreds of thousands of people through YouTube and through things that I have planned for future endeavors. At the time of recording this, I'll have traveled 57 times around the sun. I have learned more in the last 15 years than I have in the 42 years before that. I've always been an observant person. For as long as I can remember, I have a knack for taking mental notes on things that I have observed. Ooh, don't do that. Oh, do that. That seems to work. On the other hand, it feels like I have taken longer than necessary to learn some things. But then again, isn't that just comparing myself to others? Maybe to you, I seem like I'm so far advanced from you. Guess what? I can look out and experience a similar thing when seeing other people's success in whatever they do. Again, it's a part of being human. But success, or the overnight sensation that I'm sure that you know isn't always true. It's like an iceberg. Us, the observer, tends only to see the tip of that iceberg. People don't see all the work that's involved, the failures, the disappointments, the persistence despite those disappointing failures, the adversities needed to overcome, sacrifice, hard work, the refining of things over and over to achieve excellence. Not to mention all the small wins that add up to success over time. Take it or leave it, but maybe here are some things to think about. The only way to feel good about yourself doing something is to choose doing things that you feel good about and are drawn to. The only failure is not trying. The only mistake is not putting yourself out there. The only risk is being unhappy with yourself for not moving forward and doing nothing. No one thing will save you. There's no magic pill or ritual that will help you other than putting one foot forward after the other. We all want an easy solution. It's actually human to want this, so don't feel bad. But it doesn't exist. Nobody has patience anymore. The Sistine Chapel, or any great works of art, sculpture, or architecture weren't built in a day. Remember the iceberg analogy? These things will frustrate you when you are young, but stuff happens over time. Don't be afraid to turn things down that don't excite you, especially if you are younger. Focus on things that matters to you. It's simply a part of life. If you're not turning things down enough, you are simply not truly doing what matters to you. To springboard off that, let your freak flag fly. I mean, come on. Who gives a crap about what 99% of people think? Be yourself. Your uniqueness is what separates you from the next person. If something isn't working, that remaining 1% will tell you honestly what's not working. They're the ones who give any F's about you. It could be your close friend, your bandmate, your teacher or mentor. Listen to them. If you have to keep telling people that you're the shit, guaranteed you probably aren't. Only weak-minded people have to try and convince others that they're amazing. A confident person doesn't have to show that they're confident. They just are. Don't say it, be it. Motivation. Take small steps to move towards something and allow it to snowball. Even if you feel like you don't know what the hell you're doing. Passion is not the cause of good work. It's the effect. Don't try to find something you do well. It's the process of working towards something in which you develop a passion for. I've spent years teaching myself how to sound good when improvising jazz. Now, many years later, after developing confidence and ability, I get passionate sharing what I've learned. By the way, there's nothing special about me. There are thousands of people who do the same thing. What's your future passion? Surround yourself with people who make you a better person, musician or whatever. When I take musicians on tour with me or I hire them for a gig, I only hire people who are there to come together to make better music, make the music better. And we come together as a collective. To dovetail that, relationships are important. And that's one thing that I always need to improve on. Because I'm a bit of a loner, maybe more than a bit of a loner, I could probably be one of those people that would be fine living by myself without contact for months on end. Maybe. I don't really do enough to foster friendships and keep relationships going. I'm sure I would be much more busier and successful in the music business. It's a flaw of mine. On that note, if any of my friends are watching this, I'm sorry if sometimes you don't hear from me for months or even years. I get very one-track minded most of the time. You might get a phone call from me soon. But it's like we've always seen each other like just yesterday. View practicing or focusing right now on something that is important to you as an investment for the future, like the stock market or exercising. For every unit you put in now exponentially accumulates, and you'll be able to cash them in later. The catch is, it's not a big windfall at the end. The units gained are spread out over time, weeks, months, years. You have to realize that the things you do now will pay off in the future. Knowing the future you're molding now is what should be motivating you. There's no pinnacle. There's no ultimate skill level to be reached. Whoever you think is the best musician, guitarist, or the best whatever, unless they're a clinical narcissist, feel that they have shortcomings too. Things that they need to work on. It's always an uphill climb for everyone. Get used to it. Everyone is at different stages of development. It's more likely the average person finds excuses for not doing things, complains how they could do it better than the next guy, spends hours on social media using that time to justify their feelings of inadequacy. Don't be average. Be careful how you define yourself. Your beliefs could be holding yourself back from growth. If you believe you suck at a certain thing or skill long enough, it will come true. Learning music is an accumulation of multiple skills. Skills can be learned. If doing something like playing music is something you want to truly do, develop a willingness to be disliked. Not everyone is going to like what you do. Do you like everything everyone does? Extraordinary results come from repeating seemingly mundane actions over an unordinary amount of time. There's a reason why we call it mastery. Again, remember that iceberg analogy? You don't have to prove anything to anyone, including yourself. I used to want to make my parents proud. If you do something to get approval from people and they don't respond the way that you want them to, you'll feel let down. But don't blame them. It's your fault for creating this fantasy world in your own mind. Just do what makes you happy and that's all that matters. Nothing meaningful in life is easy. Anything easy in life rarely is meaningful. If playing video games or watching Netflix is more meaningful to you than learning and improving on music, do that. It's never too late to start. I recently heard of a story of a woman who became a widow in her early 60s. Out of boredom and loneliness, began piano lessons. Everyone that knew her scoffed and told her it's too late to start something like that in life. That's for young people. She practiced anyway. She poured hours and hours into all of that newfound time that she had into playing and practicing. And her goal wasn't to be a renowned, world-class performer. It was just the love of the process and sheer determination. By the time she had reached the age of 90, she had put nearly 30 years of practice time in. People that heard her play thought she was a retired concert pianist. She became that good. And in that time, she learned many pieces from masters like Bach, Beethoven, Liszt, Chopin, and others. It's never too late to start. Leave a comment if any of this has resonated with you. I would love to know if you're out there.